Really excited to visit right now with the head coach of the Buffalo men's basketball program. Coach Nate Oats joins me now on the show. Coach, thanks for making time.
No, thanks for having me on. Excited to be on.
Really excited to talk about your team and this season. But if you will, just bear with me. I want to talk about last year in the tournament and your team's dismantling, if we're being frank, of number 4 seed Arizona, and just what that victory, the first tournament win for Buffalo, what that does for a program, what that did for your program.
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. It kind of put us on a national level. We had been winning. We had been to the NCAA tournament before. We had lost twice. You know, we played tough games against West Virginia when Coach Hurley was a coach, and then against Miami when my first year as head coach. And to finally get the one win and to win it in the way that we did, you know, really put us on a national map. I think it set the table for what we've been able to accomplish this year. Everybody respected us after that win, and, you know, then the polls, you know, all the voters respected us. We beat West Virginia, and I think had we not beaten Arizona, we probably don't get ranked in the top 25 like we did this year.
You know, it's interesting because obviously everyone has a career to follow. A lot of coaches, when they have success at a so-called non-Power 5 school, make the jump to Power 5 schools. A lot of folks thought you might do that. Obviously, you stuck around in Buffalo. What is it about the program, the university, that you want to be a part of it, and obviously stuck around and continued a very successful process of building a winner there?
I mean, it's a great question. A lot of people ask that. And even now, a lot of people assume that I would jump even after this year. I just, like, my family likes it here. We've kind of embraced the city. My wife went through a battle with cancer in Roswell Park Cancer, took great care of her here. The university, it's the biggest public university in the state of New York. It's got 30,000 students. Like, people don't realize it's a high major university. And, you know, the athletic department's just getting off ground. We haven't been Division I for only about 20 years. So we're growing. We feel like we've got more potential than any other athletic department in the country. And it's nice to be a part of something new, something fresh, something that's growing from the ground up. And I think we're building it. We've done it fairly quickly. Coach Hurley got this thing started, making the NCAA tournament here 5 years ago, and then I've been able to build off what he was able to start. And, you know, it's nice to kind of build something from ground up like we've been able to do here.
Coach, at the risk of getting a little too highfalutin here, one of the things that I love, and I think a lot of people love about March Madness, it kind of reflects the American dream. If you work hard, if you work as a team, if you have a little bit of luck, really great things can happen to you, just like in this country. 5 or 6 years ago, you were coaching high school basketball. Now you're the coach of the number 19 team in the country. Do you give yourself the chance to kind of look back and have some perspective on how you got from there to where you are right now?
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes you got to get a little bit lucky in life, and you got to be ready when the breaks happen. I think, you know, like you said, you work hard, you get a break, and you take advantage of it. So, you know, I was a high school coach for 11 years at Romulus High School right outside Detroit. We did really well enough that the Hurley family, Danny and Bobby, you know, recognized what I did. They recruited one of my kids. I built a relationship with them. Bobby hired me. We went to the NCAA tournament. Danny White, who's now the AD at Central Florida, was the AD up here at the time. He hired me after only being a Division I assistant for 2 years. And shoot, now we're going to go to the NCAA tournament. This will be our 3rd year out of my 4 years as a head coach. And, you know, get some players, get lucky with some recruiting. CJ Massmurray's way better than anybody thought he was going to be. Nick Perkins a lot better. And, you know, Jeremy Harris comes. You add all these guys. We got 5 seniors. We got a lot of experience. And you work hard. You catch a break here or there. And next thing you know, you're kind of on a national scene making some noise. And I've been fortunate enough to catch a few breaks in life.
Your team, you guys are fun to watch and easy to root for. Tough team, gritty team, hard-working team. There's a lot of parallels to the way the culture on the floor, at least, of your guys and the city of Buffalo where you play. Is that blue-collar mentality a coincidence, or was it something when you arrived in Buffalo you wanted to make a part of the actual program, the actual basketball team?
You know what? That's a great question. It is a blue-collar city, and we've adopted this blue-collar mentality. We give out this hard hat we call them blue-collar points. We chart stuff that's not in a typical stat sheet. We chart floor dives and charges drawn and deflections, rebounds. we give it a point system. We give a winner after each game. We give them this hard hat that's a real hard hat from a construction site. And so we've kind of adopted this whole blue collar. I'll say this. When I coached at Romulus, we were about the same stuff. I just didn't have the whole blue collar theme. Kind of Buffalo's definitely a blue collar city. We love it here. The people are down to earth. They shoot straight with you. They support you. I mean, you can see the way they've supported the Bills and the Sabres through the years, and they've stuck, through it thick and thin with the Bills. I'm more of a football guy than maybe a hockey guy, since hockey and basketball are in the same season. But we love the city here, and we've kind of adopted this blue collar approach. Our players have been great at it. We could have got a kid right down the road in Rochester, Dante Carruthers. He's about as blue collar as they call him. He plays as hard as any kid you've ever seen, and put him and Devontae Jordan, our point guard, those two guys. And Massenberg's our best player, our leading scorer, but he's really, really blue collar. He was overlooked coming out of Dallas and kind of plays with a chip on his shoulder. Everybody in the country overlooked him, and we gave him a scholarship, and he's been playing with that chip ever since he got here, trying to prove that he belongs at this level, and he's more than proved that. He's got a chance to leave the school. It's the all-time leading scorer in school history. So we've kind of approached it. We've kind of adopted it. The city's kind of embraced it, and we've kind of run with the blue collar theme for the last 2 years now.
I love it, and obviously you guys have had a lot of success, well-deserved. I think we mentioned at the start of the interview, number 19 in the AP poll. I think Ken Pom has you at 23, and I think your RPI, depending on where you look, is in the top 10. 9 is certainly what I saw earlier today. So a very successful season. NCAA tournament bid shouldn't even be questioned. You have one game left. As a coach, do you start talking to your guys right now about, hey, national title was the goal at the start of the year, and we're going to have a chance to play for that? Or do you message differently? What are you just saying to the guys as you try to ramp up for March?
You know what? That's a good question, because a lot of people set goals at the beginning of the year, and I didn't want to set a goal that if you don't hit it, you feel like you had a unsuccessful season. So we didn't really say national championship. What we said, we want to win the MAC regular season. We took care of that last night. We want to win the MAC tournament. We've got to take care of that next week. Get to the NCAA tournament. Let's be playing our best basketball come March. Then what we talked about is where our ceiling could be. And we felt like our ceiling, Loyola made a run to the Final Four, and who knows what happens. I think we've proved we can play with about anybody in the country. We beat Syracuse at Syracuse. We beat West Virginia at West Virginia. Syracuse went to Duke and beat them at Duke. Duke's arguably the best team in the country. I just think on any given night, if we put our offensive and defensive games together and play at a peak level on both sides of the ball, like we can play with anybody in the country, and we need some confidence going into March, and let's go into the March tournament and let's try to make some noise again. We won one game last year. Let's try to win multiple games this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to try to win a national championship, but if you have seniors, which you do, if you play defense, which you do, if your guys play, just care and play with passion, good things usually happen. In fact, speaking of senior day, the one game left is coming up. You've got 5 seniors, and a win on that evening, a win on that day would break, I believe, the school record for single season wins. Just for you, I know you're focused on the tournament ahead, but what are your emotions as you prepare to, at least at home, say goodbye to those 5 seniors?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty emotional. Yeah, I mean, you think about these 5 guys. So I've been a head coach now. This is my 4th year in Division I. C.J. Massenberg and Nick Perkins have been with me every game I've coached in Division I basketball now. So see those guys go out. Then you added Dante Carruthers, been with us now 3 years. And then Jeremy Harris and Montel McCray. Those 2 guys really are skilled and gave us a whole nother dimension. Jeremy kind of torched DeAndre Ayton last year in the NCAA tournament. We don't get that win without him. Montel's played great, a big guy that can knock down threes and enables us to play the way we play. So it's going to be an emotional night. Those guys have done a lot for this basketball program. They've done a lot for the school. They've done a lot for the city, to be honest with you. The city's going to come out. I mean, we've been selling every game out in 2019. Our arena's already sold out for a game 3 days away, and it's going to be standing room only. And it's going to be great for the guys just to have the city of Buffalo, the University of Buffalo community, embrace them and let them know what they meant to this community as a whole.
All right, Coach, last question for you. I've really enjoyed the conversation. Bobby Hurley brought you in as an assistant back in 2013. I'm sure you learned a lot from Coach Hurley. If you were talking to a young assistant coach or an aspiring coach and you were going to give them one lesson, one bit of advice to try to pursue their career to the top of the mountain or as far as they can go, What's that one bit of advice you've learned, Coach Hurley taught you, somebody taught you back in the day? What's the one gem you would share?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the conversation we talked about catching a break. So I think what you have to do is you never know when that break's going to come. So you got to be ready whenever. You got to do your current job to the best of your ability and prepare yourself for what you think the next job is, and be constantly working at it and just be prepared for whenever it may happen. And then obviously you've got to make some connections. Without the connections I had with the Hurleys, I wouldn't be here. So you got to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, get out, learn, go visit some college practices, learn what they're doing, build a relationship with those guys. But above all, you just got to do your current job. If I wasn't doing the job like I was at Romulus at the time I was doing it, I would have never had this chance. So do the job you're doing now, study it, work hard, outwork everybody, and shoot, when the break comes, be ready for it.
Coach, really appreciate you. I love watching your team play. I'll be rooting for you. Thank you. Very gracious of you. Thanks for making time for us.
No, I appreciate you having me on. It's great to be on. I appreciate you saying what you've said about our program.